Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This voice you're hearing is not long for this world. This is about to be the most brutal stretch of announcing and travel for me of the year, headed to the Washougal National, the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and then it's to Loretta Lynn Ranch in Tennessee for the annual Rocky Mountain ATV AMA Amateur National Motocross Championship. I'll be practicing on Monday, racing on Tuesday, all the way through the end of Saturday. So basically, it's going to be motocross racing for me to watch and announce every day from Saturday through the next Saturday, which is awesome. I mean, that's the most fun time of the year and also the hardest time of the year. There's really nothing quite like a week at Loretta Lynn Ranch. So we're going to preview that. I've got my buddy Kevin Kelly on here. Now, Kevin and I go way back. He's one of the first friends I ever had in this industry, really before I even officially worked in this industry. I was trying to break into the races, so I was going to as many that were in driving distance of my home in New Jersey as I could. That actually includes Atlanta, which is not anywhere near New Jersey, but is nearer than the other towns. And somehow I met Kevin at the Atlanta Supercross, I believe, in 2000. And we hit it off. Went on a couple dates after that, and now we have 3 kids. No, I'm just kidding. We've been really, really good friends ever since. He was in my wedding party. And as we have actually gotten married and have kids separately from each other, we don't get to hang out that much. We basically get this week at Loretta's to hang out. And that is what Loretta's is for so many people. It's like this extended family reunion. And in that 1 week, you'll make more memories than you might in the other 51 weeks of the year combined. And anyone who has lived that event, you don't go to the event, you live it. Anyone who has lived that event knows exactly what I'm talking about. Now, as much as it is a lifestyle thing and great memories and just the most fun you'll ever have, going to Loretta's is supposed to be about motocross racing. So I got Kevin on the phone here, and he has announced just about every other major amateur race this year, and he'll also announce Loretta's. So I figure he's probably the most well-equipped of anybody to kind of give you an idea of who the fast amateurs are, the names to watch next week, and who might be pros and making an impact soon. So a little bit of business, a little bit of seriousness, and then also some goofy stories. Kevin and I started announcing together at Loretta's in 2002. We took over the last vestiges of what was the old Radio Fox program, which is really the forerunner of even Kevin's DMXS radio show, the forerunner of Pulp, the forerunner of this show, the forerunner of any kind of motocross audio was the Radio Fox show that Davey Coombs and the Fox crew would run from the announcer's tower at night at Loretta's. And unfortunately, we didn't have the internet or smartphones or iPods back then, so they didn't have them as podcasts. But anyway, Kevin says that he always used to listen to the Radio Fox show when he went to Loretta's. That was his dream, to do a show like it. So he started the DMXS show in 2001. 2002, Kevin and I were given the reins to the end of the night announcing show. I remember our very first guest I think we ever had up there. The first rider we ever talked to was Ryan Sipes, who was a B-class rider back then. And Kevin and I have worked together at Loretta's ever since, so that's a long time. That's 16 years or so. So our reunion's coming up. We're going to let you in on some of our fun stories and also give you an idea of who the amateurs to watch are in this year's edition of the event. As always, this podcast, Exhaust, brought to you by the good folks at Yoshimura, 63 years of four-stroke research and development, developing products for you. So whether you have a dirt bike, a street bike, or an ATV, they have the exhaust system you're looking for. Go to yoshimura-rd.com. Yoshimura Research and Development. They research, they develop, and guess what? They build the stuff right in the U.S. of A. I saw the factory in California. Racer X brand, you can get our Racer X clothing. That's hats, book bags. Can we say back to school yet? I cannot understand that there's actually back to school already going on. Look, there are no other combination of words. There is no other combination of words that is worse than back to school. Going back to school sucks. Back to school, that's like coal in your stocking to a kid. That's terrible. They're busting these things out in July, back to school sales. We're not claiming back to school yet, but we do have backpacks. So if you're planning on going back to school, get one at racerxbrand.com, and I will give you 20% off because I'm cheap. Use the discount code, which is the word exhaust in all caps. Do not use the discount code PULPMX in all caps because the exhaust one is better. Got it? All right, so that's today. Going to talk about Loretta's with my good buddy Kevin Kelly of DMXS Radio. He's been around the sport a long time. He raced, his brother raced, his dad owned tracks, he and his brother owned tracks. They've run qualifiers for this event, and he's announced at me there for 16 years. Oh, my God, we are old. Here we go. Podcast. 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 Yeah, there it is. I'm going to play that. You can't stop me. I'm going to play that at Loretta's. Now, by the way, you can listen to all the announcing that Kevin and I do and watch all the racing. RacerTV.com will have exclusive live internet broadcast coverage of the event all week next week. So go to RacerTV.com and watch Loretta's all day long. You actually get to watch motocross during the week while you're at work. Just turn it on your phone and put some headphones in, and whatever type of job you have, you can listen to the races or watch. RacerTV.com next week from Loretta's. Now, here's Kevin Kelly and myself on the phone. Look, man, the score is now 300,821, 475 DMXS appearances, and now I got one.
The one.
I got one.
From me.
Yeah, I got one from you. I haven't announced her yet, so I'll give you.
So
say
you got a half.
I don't know. He's going to claim he's 75%.
Oh, he'll claim my appearance on your show was his idea.
Okay, he's the one that arranged it and organized it. You could never put this together.
Yeah. He came up with your show and called you and told you to have me on for him.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then he saw somewhere in New Jersey, Barsha's parents, he saw like a young teenage couple. He told them, go for it unprotected. Have a baby. Make him a motocross
10 years at the ranch.
Zygote. Okay, so we're going to be announcing together next week. We think. We haven't really officially heard. All we know is we've been asked if we want a cabin or a hotel. So I think that means we're working, but that's how loose this program is. I don't know anything more than that, and neither do you.
Yeah, I haven't spoken to anybody with any kind of rank. I got a random text saying, hey, when you coming in, we need to get you a room. And I don't know if it's just a nice family that's trying to put me up. I don't even know that.
That's right. And we know that 2 announcers is not enough. You really need 4 to make Loretta's work.
Yep.
So we don't know who the other 2, or even if there are 2 others, we don't know.
Could be just you. I could be clipped. It could just be you all week, Jim Cotter style.
All week. Some guy recently said, do you ever get laryngitis? And I'm like, not exactly, but oh God, Loretta's, do the voices go away. The
pickle juice, man. The pickle juice. It goes bad at the beer tent. It's really where it goes wrong.
I know. It's awesome to have that built-in excuse of being like, oh, dude, it's just, moto after moto. But really, you could announce all day for 2 weeks and be fine. It's the beer tent.
We do it in Texas already. I've already done it. Been doing it for years. The Texas two-step. That's literally 2 events back-to-back, several days in length each one. So
what is that? That's Freestone, James Stewart Classic, and then I can't even keep up. What's the other one now?
It typically goes our DMXS party, which I almost consider announcing, and then the Atlanta Supercross, and then really fires up the next week. We go Daytona, then 2 weeks of Freestone, literally back to back. 2 weeks in Texas right after Daytona.
Yeah, but it's Freestone, and then what else? I can't keep up. Is it Oak Hill anymore, or I don't even know where, or is that done?
Ponca City, Troy, Ohio, Binghamton. They got a national. We do that one.
So many. How many amateur races? The serious reason I have you on here, you probably watch more amateur motos than anyone who's not like running a team. How many races have you freaking done this year, man?
I've been to more than Ryan Holiday.
Come on. You have actually, because he doesn't send all his riders to every race.
Yeah, he went in underground. I did that underground race, the playground race, and then he was at Freestone, Mini-O's. He won't do Baja Bra, which I will do. And then we'll do, obviously, Loretta's Cal Classic, Mammoth Mountain.
Right. So let's see. After Loretta's last year, then there's Mini-O's. Then there's... No,
after Loretta's, then there's Baja Bra.
Oh, Baja Bra. Okay, yeah. So we're going to take it through the basically 12 months through now. So you did Baja Brawl.
Baja Brawl.
Oh.
Then we're going to jump in October. We're going to hang out with you over at Red Bull Straight Rhythm.
Yep.
That's different.
Yep. That's.
And then we'll do.
Uh-huh.
Then we'll do mini O's, and then kind of lights out there for a minute. January, I don't think I did. I was supposed to do the Ryan De La Plata race, but I couldn't do it. And then so January, February, there's nothing going on for me really. And then March, it's just wide open from there, from Daytona to 2 weeks in Texas, and then Cal Classics April. May was what's that race in Guthrie, Oklahoma?
Oh, did you do that?
Mini Junior Moto X, yeah, and then 2 weeks in Mammoth, literally 13 days at Mammoth in June. And then July was AMA Vintage Motorcycle Days. Mm-hmm. And then Loretta's August. And then we had the AMA Awards Banquet tucked in there in January, I think.
Did you know that the AMA Vintage is actually not only a reunion for old bikes and riders, but also my entire wedding party except myself, I think? I think everyone, Jason Hooper, Tim Borick, and you were all there. I don't know if you even knew this.
Yes.
It's my wedding party reunion.
I did not know that.
It's my unofficial wedding party reunion because I'm not there.
Yep, you're the only person that was not there.
Okay, so you've seen all these races.
Yep.
Everybody kind of knows. They call them the majors. Everybody knows everybody's going. Like I would assume that most of the guys you just saw at Mammoth are also at Loretta's, right? Nobody just does Loretta's. Yeah. So what are we seeing? For example, the other thing that's changed is this is so well done, this program now, like the factory teams knowing exactly what year the guy's in and where he needs to go and what level he should be at each year. Like, first of all, Garrett Marchbank should be racing the A-Class this year. Like, this is his year to race at the expert level, and he's already gone.
I was kind of shocked. I was surprised he made the jump that soon, to be honest with you.
Well, I think they're afraid they're only going to get 2 or 3 years out of him before he's just too huge to ride a motorcycle. So we just get it in now.
Yeah, at the rate he's growing, he's 6 inches a year is what they've got him growing for another 4 years. So,
right.
I mean, he cannot continue. He's going to have to consider the NBA or something a little different.
Yeah, he's got that step back, the jab step. That's the key, man. You have to be able to shoot from the outside, even at his size these days.
He's an inside guy. He is going to hang around the basket, and that's just not going to work in today's NBA. You're right. You got to be able to handle the rock and shoot the J from outside the arc, and he is not a finesse player.
So
he's a harken back to the bad boys and the Pistons,
just pound the ball,
Knicks, and those guys.
Yep.
Yeah, just pound it inside, get the easy two, get the bucket, and then they'll do the hack of Marchbanks, and that's what he can't make anything.
He cannot make the free. His hands are too big to make free throws. So. Yeah. So I would presume, would it have been safe to say that he probably would have been like the guy getting the accolades at Loretta's this year, the guy that everybody's like, I wonder how he'll do at the next level if he were racing? Is it kind of like, would he have probably been like the most talked about guy going into Loretta's if he was actually continuing to race?
Yeah, I would think so. There's the TLD guys have Derek Drake and Falk, and I think he was just a tick ahead of those guys from what I remember.
Okay.
The B class is loaded up. There's a bunch of guys coming in behind him, but I think he would be the guy in A class for sure.
Well, yeah, okay. So that's the thing I was going to say. So now that they have all these programs all stretched out, people get mad because they hear the B class is faster than the A class, which is true, but that's not the way advancement works. Like, you can't kick somebody out of the class like you get to race it a year. You just do. That's just how it works. So we often see the B class is faster than the A class, and I'm hearing that might be the case this year possibly with some of the B-class guys.
Yeah, I remember Eli Tomac was that guy, and when he came through,
Barsha too.
Remember at Loretta's, he was the one. Yeah, I think Barsha was, and Tomac, I think he busted that sub 2 minute lap time that was the elusive.
Yeah.
The Mendoza line for awesomeness. He did that, and I think Pierce Brown. We talked about this earlier. He is definitely that kid. He was, I think on average a couple seconds quicker than the A class at Mammoth, and they have pros there. They have a lot of pros that come up for Mammoth on those big pro days, and he was still easily the guy to beat.
Okay. So B-class rider Pierce Brown, who, this is weird because I remember he and Marchbanks were on a similar, they're pretty close in age. They're both from Utah, oddly. They've kind of gone through the ranks.
The hotbed of motocross.
Yeah, Utah, absolutely. Although one of them, I don't know which one it was. I think it was Marchbanks. Claimed that he had this like unbelievable sand track like on a riverbed or something that was unreal. and it wasn't even far from where we had that national in Utah. And I think Dave even went to check it out, and he showed some pictures, and it's like it's not a racetrack per se. There isn't any structures at all, but oh my God, it is a dream track to ride on. But I guess both those guys left anyway. They don't even do their riding in Utah, right? Where does Pierce Brown work out of?
Camped out at MTF.
Right. And where does Pierce Brown work?
Excuse me, Pierce Brown is out of MTF.
MTF, okay.
Pierce Brown's out of MTF, and Marchbanks has done his stuff over, I think, Club or SOB.
Yeah, a little bit of both, I think. He was Club for a while. Now I think it became south of the border at the end. So Pierce Brown, right, who is Troy Lee Designs KTM, right?
Yeah.
He actually might be the fastest amateur right now, even though he's in the B, not A class, correct?
Yeah, I think from everything that I've seen throughout the year, his whole body of work, like I've seen, like certain races, I just don't put 100% stock in, like, okay, what you did at Mammoth will easily translate at Loretta's, or what you did at Cal Classic or Freestone or Mini O's, because they're all different lengths, and some races are a little shorter in length and some of them are longer. I just, but consistently throughout the year, it's Pierce Brown has won 90% of the time he's thrown a layer on the bike, from what I recall.
Dude, he kind of reminds me of looks, even like seeing him hang out and talk to him. He kind of reminds me of Jason Anderson a little bit.
I don't think he's as mysterious, if that's even a good word about Jason. But he's very approachable. His parents are extremely likable, friendly, and I think I even told you, like, their story is there's some kind of athletic gene in there, whatever it is. His brother played D1. He was a D1 pitcher for Utah.
Wow.
He was like 6'4". And then Pierce is obviously a high-level motocross rider, and I asked his mom and dad, I said, who rode dirt bikes and who played baseball? And they said, neither one of us. I'm like, what the hell? His dad is yoked, too. Wait till you see his dad. I even called him out at Mammoth. I'm like, dude, you are jacked. When we were giving out the awards, I'm like, this is the most jacked dad here.
Oh, so don't get him mad.
No, and he's always smiling. That dude he's just fit, no doubt about it.
What is the phenomenon where all these motocross dudes who are generally small and skinny all have these dads that are literally so big that most of the time they referred to as big, then fill in the blank of their name? There's so many big dads having jockey-like sons that race motocross.
Well, Pierce is not one of them, though. His dad's big, and Pierce is he's always been 2 years ahead of everybody else in his class. He was always eye level with me since he's been on Super Minis.
Yeah, he's lanky, right?
He's starting to fill in now, dude.
Oh, okay.
Dude, he's probably going, I bet he's 160 right now.
So are he and Marchbanks going to, like, get in the octagon? Like, we're going to have, like, a Greco-Roman knuckle lock test of strength?
I think he might be a year behind Marchbanks, or 8-10 months or so. But he's getting there.
Okay. Seriously though, how many moto dads are these big dudes? Like, it's endless. Like, if you're a moto dad that actually is built like a motocrosser, something is wrong. I don't understand that this is possible. But
yeah, Davey Millsap's dad was 6 foot huge and just big. You remember, like that made no sense.
Nope. Big James.
And then
Big
Mario
Rick.
Izzy was 7 foot wide. Just construction guy.
The calves.
That does not make sense.
Calves for
days. You have the rare one, calves for days. And then you have Mike Craig, who was built like a moto guy, and his son kind of wound up that way. But
Big James, like Big Rick.
Big James, Big Rick's big for sure.
Yeah.
Old man Tishner's tall and lanky.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just usually everyone's dad is just known as big. I think,
Ricky Ryan is humongous. I mean, he's a big dude, and his kid rips.
Well,
Jeremy
it's different.
Ryan. It's
different when the dad was a professional rider in his own life. And that's a little bit different, like Mike Craig. It's a little bit different. But I don't understand. The dads, generally, it's like, oh, dude, don't piss the dad off. He is massive. He is huge. He will eat you. And I'm like, you would think that we're in some sport where they're all football players with these dads who are known as being huge guys. I don't understand. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, no, the ideal, we all know the height. You want to be 5'9" and about $150, $60, and off you go.
Yeah. All right. So Pierce Brown in the B class is good, but I'm gonna run through some of the B class lineup here because so many people are doing what Marchbanks did this year. They are really good in the B and the schoolboy ranks, and the teams kind of feel like, look, one more year in amateurs isn't going to help him. He'd be better off turning pro early. So yeah, Tomac did that, Barsha did that, Cooper Webb did that. It's definitely the trend now. because of that, I feel like the B class often is the most competitive because sometimes that's the last time you're going to see all the good guys together as amateurs because a few are going to leave early. So that's kind of where the action is, I feel. And then especially 250B specifically because generally they're going to be 250 riders, not 450 riders. So that's kind of where the action is.
Yeah, with Joe Shimoda, Carson Mumford on the Hondas, Pierce Brown, and I'm not sure who else in the B class there. Then you have, I think, Carter Bees, Fry, Jesse Flock is fantastic. He was just a tick off, if I remember, at Texas. Like, he was really close, could never get a start. Mm-hmm. But he had as quick a lap time, close to the lap times of Pierce Brown, and he is bitching to watch on the dirt bike. I love that kid. Oh, that's awesome.
And these guys are all in the same class. I really like the story with Seth Hamaker. Like, he's a Team Green guy. He's not the most high-profile guy, although I think he won Monster Cup. Didn't he win Monster Cup?
Yeah, I think so, yep.
Yeah, but he's not, coming to the ranks, you knew they had Faulkner and Marchbanks. So Hamaker was not quite considered on their level, but he goes pretty good. And I don't know if it's still true, but I remember talking to him every year at Loretta's and him saying, like, yep, I'm just from Pennsylvania. I'm still in Pennsylvania. I ride it like south of the border in the summer to get ready for Loretta's, but I don't know. Maybe he's changed it now, but he was not full moto commitment, which is, that means he's going to get way better when he gets the chance. So I think Hamaker really could be something with patience.
Yeah, he's got a nice ceiling, I think, because he hadn't really explored how high he can go. He's good. He's done a lot of racing. He hits all the usual races now. He's in the mix for sure.
And then, Shimoda, they told me Shimoda's a year younger than some of the B guys. I think he just turned 16. So I guess he could technically race that class another year. He's pretty good.
Yeah, and I think he might be doing youth as well. You know how they get there and they'll kind of, some of these kids will pick the youth class or whatever. Like
yes.
Aiden Tierro's that other one. He is fantastic. You've obviously had a chance to see him.
The one that beat Villapoto.
Yeah, he's good. Max Miller actually shared moto wins with him in Mammoth, I believe, and in California Classic. He had just gotten back on the bike in April when he met up with Tierro, and it took him all week at the underground race, and then we went to Freestone, and then he was getting better with each ride, and he is fantastic as well on a 125. He rips.
What about Carson Mumford on a 250F? Because he was so forever known as the kid on the Works fuel-injected 150.
Yeah, he handed that bike off to Hunter Yoder.
Yep.
And Yoder is struggling a little bit with that motorcycle. But Carson was just a tick off. Couldn't quite even – he was struggling to snip the box, to be honest with you, the last little bit. But he's got what's his name, the trainer, Randy Lawrence.
Oh, okay.
Who was working with Carson and a couple of guys, and he got better and better at Mammoth. I think he got a second or a third at one of the races there.
Dude,
but,
he bought Alessi's place?
A lot of damn.
Do you know that?
Oh, he did?
Yes, he now owns Alessi's track. Oh, if those walls could talk.
Oh, please.
Dude.
The bike claiming, the fuel gate, laser gate.
What has gone down?
There's a lot of gates involved.
Alessi's involved a lot of gates. Yeah.
A lot of gates. He spit in old man Millsap's face at World Mini, full-on brawl there.
Spitgate? Dude, I heard a story.
Yeah.
I heard a story. This is amazing. Somebody told me that they were hanging out at the Alessi track way back, and Tony points out that there were bars on the windows. And he's like, see those? No one asked. No one said, hey, why are there bars? He says, hey, notice those bars on the windows? And everybody's like, yeah. He's like, you want to know why they're there? And they're like, okay. And he's like, Mike had a girlfriend, and he used to sneak out in the middle of the night, and he'd be tired for his motos, so I had to put bars on his window.
So it wasn't for crime, it wasn't for anything else. No. Well, did any other part of the house have the bars?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, the front door? Was the front door available?
Nope, just that one window.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do not sneak out with your train tomorrow. Gosh. Write a darn book on... Look, man, you're at that age. You have kids around that age. Like, to have that level of control over your mid to late teenage sons, it's actually pretty impressive.
Oh, my Lord. Are you kidding? Well, I mean, he had to create that control. I don't know if he had it.
Well, I'm just saying, dude, you know what it's like to be 17, and now you know what it's like to have kids that are that age. It's not easy to keep them around.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely not. No, there's so many temptations from social media and all that crap. Are you kidding me? And if you're halfway damn decent, Jesus, man, they just start flying at you like old man tedder babies just coming whizzing by your face.
God. All right, can we talk about one of the many, many moments? But this might be number one. This might have been the one that made us laugh the hardest, and we probably shouldn't even be talking about this on here. So when we,
I'm going to let you take us down this road.
When we had rain delays at Loretta's, one time, Matt Tedder, who has like 9 kids, Dakota, still racing pro, and Matt won like every year at Loretta's in the age classes. It was a rain delay, and he made the tragic mistake of telling you, well, it's a rain delay. Time to go make more Tedders. So,
and that's what would happen. He would show up with a damn 2 RVs with 17 motorcycles, 3 mechanics, and just a nut job situation over there.
Yeah, well, literally. Yeah, we'd come back a year later, and he's like, see this kid? 3 months old. This is rain delay.
Boom.
Rain delay Tedder. So you give us an inch like that, and we're going to take a mile. So then we eventually determined that he could be used to shoot the T-shirts out. The Monster Girls, they got Matt Tedder. Who wants a T-shirt? Load him up.
So you know how they have the monster, the cannon. Well, Old Man Tedder, you can just kind of fill in the blanks here. They use the Old Man Tedder. They pack a shirt down in the nether region, and he would just fire shirts out from one end zone to the other.
If you're in the front row, you better watch out.
9 months.
Pachoom. Gosh. Who?
Yeah.
Oh, man. See, that's the hidden gem of Loretta's that people don't understand. Like, we're all locked in this island together. They've done an excellent job of trying to prevent any sort of technology from changing the feel of that event. Like, you still don't really have phones down there. So we have no other entertainment.
You have Cell Phone Hill. You go up there and
tell your girlfriend you haven't cheated on her. That's what.
Check back in at 9 o'clock at night every night.
Yes. If anyone ever drives to Loretta's, there's Cell Phone Hill. It's like where the road V's out, and there's every night a group of 14 and 15-year-old boys just calling their girlfriend at home. No, I've been good. Just don't have any cell service, but I swear I've been good. And
that's a true damn story. That's the shitty part. It's so true, and everybody that's in there knows it. It's awful to try to run a business, to try to do anything from that ranch.
Oh,
you better go with.
They're running business.
I'm checking out.
They're running business. They're running a business, all right, during the
day.
Yeah,
well, I can't speak to that, but yes, there are some folks that are running the business for sure.
Yeah, and then calling the girlfriend. I'm good. I'm everything's fine. I'll be back in 4 days, in Nebraska.
How did you win your area and your regional, but you got in 330 nights in a row? He's been out till 4 in the morning, every night.
Yeah. I don't know. I just can't adapt to the track here. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, just can't put it all together.
Yeah.
Having the time of his life getting 30 nights. His dad's like, what is going on? And he puts bars on his RV window.
Maybe. Put the bars on. That's going to be the term. Put the bars on. That's how you know you're locked in. Put the bars on.
That's it. Locked and loaded. Put the bars on the window, kid's going to win title.
So we don't have any entertainment down there, basically, except ourselves. So that's what makes this...
Whatever we create.
Yeah, that's what makes this week so epic. I mean, the stories that we have out of that are mostly because if you got to hang out with your buddies all day, every day for 7 straight days, I don't care if it's a vacation or, in this case, work. Like, it's going to be amazing, and we get to do that every year. That's like... There's probably guys that went to high school together that had one trip like that over the next 20 years post-graduation. We're doing it every year.
We've done it 13 times, 14 times.
Yeah, something like that.
And we get paid to do it. At least I do. You don't, but I do.
I don't know yet. I mean, you might not have me working. We don't know.
I might not, yeah. So I may be speaking a little bit too early on that.
Okay, so the B
If I don't get paid, I'll just borrow $10,000 from Greg.
Yeah, the richest team in motocross. Hey, is Caden Amarine still on that team? Or did he get picked up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope, Cade Amarine is still on that team.
So he's coming in off of a title last year. So Rides Unlimited is a full player.
Yeah, they bought the big, I think they bought the RCH rig, so they got that. They're coming in full locked and loaded semi.
The richest team in amateur motocross.
True story.
They bought the RCH rig.
And Lucas... They bought the RCH rig. All the kids. It looks factory. You'll see it. It says Rides on. I mean, it's ridiculous. And Lucas made it, and which is his youngest son. And there's a picture of Lucas riding back from Texas last night, and it's him and his 2 buddies, Lucas Geisler, 3 motorcycles, and in the back you see this piece of luggage. It's Louis Vuitton luggage. That's where his clothes are in. It's like a $900 piece of luggage, and it's in the back of a Sprinter van.
So everybody's running the OGO bags, and he's running the Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton and a Rolex Submariner.
Louis Vuitton gear bag. Get a Rolex on the crossbar pad. That's just for lap times.
Yeah, he got all the guys' Rolex heart rate monitors and all that. That's old news there. That was last year's story.
Rolex heart rate monitors.
Yeah, with the diamond bezel, whatever.
Greg's
on his way right now. He just called me today. He's got to make 3 trips. 3 trips down. He's bringing the semi down. Then he's got to go back and get his ginormous RV, and he's got to get another RV for his mechanics. That's a true story. 3 trips he's taking from Chicago back and forth to Loretta.
Oh, my gosh.
Literally just talked to him earlier.
What? That's the part that blows my mind the most. Look, I feel like I'm there a long time when I'm there from Monday through Sunday. Dude, the people are coming in. Today's Wednesday. I bet you it's full already.
They're already there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I already saw the folks from GPF are taking photos. They're already in the creek just relaxing, hanging out.
You're hanging out.
And there's still people that...
Why? There's 5 days before you can even put a motorcycle on the track.
Days. Like 5 days.
Is this just to get a good parking spot? Like, is that all it comes down to?
I think so, but I mean, I've seen people just go there and drop their stuff off 2 weeks out and then just come back. Like, I could kind of see that if it's a big deal to you, but like staying there for 17 days, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, but it seems like it's more...
And I love that race.
More common than not, I think. That more people seem to do it that way than rolling in late. I mean, dude, I wouldn't be rolling in until half hour before the moto begins on Tuesday if I were racing down there. That's how I would do it. Well,
yeah.
crap.
Yeah, we would always, oh, I'm late. Where's sign up at? What are you talking about?
Exactly.
We always did it, and we still had shit to do. I'm like, why? We know this race is coming 1 year from now. Why are we tearing down a motor at the ranch? Like, that was just infuriating to me. We'd get there and like, what? Why did we have this done?
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, we were putting top ends at the house, and we had to stop on the way up at a different shop because they didn't have this piece. I'm like, we suck. Oh. No wonder I say we. I'm just saying Kyle, my little brother. We never had it together.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Well, back to Loretta. Let's go for it. Hey, one guy that's not going to be there, and this is kind of a bummer. The streak is over for Jet Reynolds.
Yes, I heard he got hurt. Man.
Yeah, he got hurt out at Cal Classic, like the last moto of the day. One of the last motos for him. He was destroying everyone. Always
last day, last moto, last lap. Always.
Yep, scrubbing he was super scrubbing the tabletop, and it was gone. I thought.
This is Super Mini? Is he still Super Mini?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still not on the 250F, right?
No, he's not on a big bike yet. No.
Right. Okay. So he's done Jet Reynolds. So the I don't want to say the door is open because then some mini parent is going to be like, well, we were planning on going there and beating him anyway. So, okay, you're right. Doesn't mean the door is open. Super Mini, just like the B class, has become a little more critical than it probably used to be. Super Mini, I feel, is too, and I always explain it this way. Because of the 250F, I think some of the smaller riders, some of the younger riders, they try to stay away from the big bikes maybe one extra year than they used to, than it was 125s. Like Super Mini used to be a fairly important class. Now I feel it's like a class that everyone hoards in and tries to stay in as long as possible. Because, back in the day, if you were 14 riding a 125, that wasn't probably that crazy. Now you're 14 riding a 250F. So I feel like there's a few more guys that stay in Super Mini extra long, which makes the class a little bit deeper. So you don't have Jet Reynolds in there anymore. So Caden Amarine, who we mentioned, he won a title last year. That was his first. That was kind of a breakthrough. He's on this Rides Unlimited team. He's in there. Looking at some of the other names. Oh, Evan Ferry. Yeah, there you go. Mini Red Dog is in there.
What about, I think...
Matt LeBlanc.
Matt LeBlanc, struggling a little bit on that Yamaha, was way off the normal pace. He was not even, he was barely top 5 at Mammoth, from what I recall.
Yeah, he's already on the Star Racing program here, switching over. He was...
Probably biding his time before he gets off that little bike. Maybe not the most up-to-date machine out there. So he's a bad dude. He's not... What he finished and what I've seen him do was not indicative of what kind of talent he has. Haven't seen a lot of Nick Romano either on the West Coast stuff. Didn't see him at a couple of big races, so I don't know that he's in that class.
I'm looking at Super Mini 1. No, Romano's not in that. Romano is in...
He's a little younger. He's more like Ryder DiFrancesco's age.
Right, Romano's 85, 9. Actually, they're in the same exact class, those two. Romano and DiFrancesco, which is the way that only Cowie does it, man. Cowie puts their guys head-to-head. It's kind of cool.
Square off. Jeremy Ryan is super fast. He should be in the mix there with Volan.
In Super Mini.
I think so. He's down at the bottom if I remember seeing him.
Let me see. Yeah, he's in there. Yep. Jeremy Ryan. So, Maximus Voland, he is the son of Talon Voland, the uncle, Tyson Voland. Big podcast fan, actually. Shout out to Tyson. Is kind of his trainer and coach. So, Maximus, is he back on the game? I feel like he struggled. Loretta's just didn't work for him last year. But Maximus is back to being one of the guys in his age division?
Yeah, and that makes no sense to me because I think he has one of the better programs around. I don't see that pressure from his dad. His dad is super relaxed. They spend a lot of time walking the track. He's super analytical. The way he rides, he's a European rider to me, is what he reminds me of.
Well, his name is Maximus Voland. You would swear he is.
World's strongest man, yeah.
Yes, that's right. They have him carrying car batteries. How long can he hold them? World's strongest man. That. Yeah, last year, 3 and 13 were his results.
He has been the guy right behind Jet Reynolds at every race, and not way behind either. Like he was the next guy in line.
Okay.
I would fully say he's the guy to beat for sure from what I've seen.
And Honda has Hunter Yoder in there now. He's the 150 guy, as you mentioned. But again, I talked to the Honda guys, and I guess he's a year younger than some of these guys, like a year younger than Voland. Yep. And look, as trick as that 150 is, there isn't any proof that it's like an unfair advantage. I think all the work they're putting in is to just get it to be competitive.
Get it up to par, yeah. Are you looking at Super Mini 112-15?
Yep. So
Amaran he'll be good, but he's even just a tad off of. He was just a tick off of those guys at Mammoth, but Mammoth's a different ball game. He was an East Coast kid at Mammoth, and that's just really tough to do.
Dude, how many times now that you're doing not just Loretta's but all these other races? How often do you see someone that's ripping in another race and then it just doesn't come together at Loretta's? Does that happen pretty often? It happens big time at Mini O's and at Mammoth.
Huh. I can't put a ton of and especially the Supercross side. Like we typically wait till we get on the motocross side before we pass judgment on a kid's week at Mini O's.
Okay.
Supercross, you get a bad start, it's really tough to plow through the field. And but in Mammoth, the dirt is so different and so weird and unique that a lot of these kids, if you're not from the West Coast, you're going to struggle. And Amaran struggled a little bit, but he was still solid. He got better and better each time he raced. I think he was top 3 each time he raced out at Mammoth.
Oh, okay. So he'll be in there.
Yeah. Amaran, it'll be. I'll tell you another. Joshua Varize is good. Nate Thrasher is really good. A little bit big on that motorcycle for the Kawasaki.
I cannot believe Thrasher's racing a Super Mini again, dude. He was massive last year.
Yeah, he broke the handlebars over his leg like Bo Jackson did, a wooden mat. I saw him do it. Yeah, and it had the motorcycle still attached to him.
Wow, he just carried it.
He flipped it upside down, held it, bent the bars, and snapped them in half.
Now, who's he riding for? He had that brief run.
He was Kawasaki. He was on Rides Unlimited, and he got a Team Green ride.
Right, but now he's listed as KTM, and I don't have him. I got a list of people from Team Green, and I don't have him on that list.
How about that?
Yeah, Nathaniel Thrasher.
And then you got Joshua Varize.
Yeah, shout out to Wes Kane.
Who Wes Kane cannot say his name.
No.
Ken Hymas is good, too. He'll be in the mix. Talon Hawkins good.
Yep.
Hawkins is a cool kid. He's the Tyler Berriman of that whole group right there. He's very talented, just got a ton of like just fun appeal when he rides. He's always doing something fun or silly on his Instagram. He's a cool kid.
Yeah, our West Coast guys.
Crockett Myers can rip some whole shots.
Yeah, Crockett Myers, what's that?
Crockett Myers can rip. He'll do well.
Yeah, he's kind of carrying the Suzuki flag there.
He is, and he's made the move they moved to Texas, and now his parents shipped him over to MTF for the last, 6 weeks or so. So he's going to be as ready as you can get. That seems to be like the place to be if you want to get it done at Loretta's.
Well, his name is Crockett, so I think they just knew they had to get him closer to
East of the east of the Mississippi.
Yeah, I mean,
below the Mason-Dixon line.
That's right.
Into Confederate territory, if you will.
Chance Hymas, Super Chunk, another one. They used to. I heard they used to call him Super Chunk. They used to.
Yeah. Not anymore. We don't really mess with that. And Hymas actually should be riding with Ryder DiFrancesco, but he's not. It's kind of a surprise that he chose this class because I think he's closer in age to Ryder D. At least they seem to battle a lot.
Okay, so...
And Ryder's in those younger 12, 13 classes.
Yeah, he still is, right. He's still a stage below this. Okay, so basically Super Mini, which is kind of where it's at, I feel, for minis these days. It used to be back in the all two-stroke days, 85, 12 to 13. That was the heat point because, as I always said, if you're younger than 12, you might be on an 80 or you might be on a 65. And if you're older than 13, you might be on an 80 or you might be on a 125.
You might be on a Super Mini, yeah.
Right, but back in the day, at age 12 and 13, everybody raced an 85. And you don't have A and B.
Yep.
You just duke it out.
Yep.
Super Mini, to me, has kind of become that now. And you're thinking Max Voland, at least coming in, is probably the guy that everybody's looking at, especially with Jet Reynolds out.
Absolutely.
Hey, we did it. That was like a legit guide right there.
We broke that one down.
Really did.
If we looked at it hard enough, we could probably, I guarantee you, we could throw you a top 5, and I bet 4 out of those 5 they would definitely be close to in order. Assuming everything worked out, good start, nobody fell or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's the good or the bad of it. But do you still feel, myself and Chase Stallo, our my right-hand man racer X, we were just talking about this. Is there still room for the Shane McElrath type to jump in there? Because, I mean, that's what he did. He was in the B class on, junk bikes, and he battled Cooper Webb and Bisceglia, and all of a sudden it was like, whoa, where did this dude come from? And now McElrath is a made man. So is there still room for that type of dude to break through? Do you see it every once in a while, like some privateer guy?
I think that dude was Cade Amaron last year. He rode really well. I think Luke Perther was my pick going in, and he's not even racing, which is a bummer. I just talked to Ricky from the AMA.
What happened?
I guess he didn't qualify or whatever. I was kind of shocked, but he popped in I haven't seen Luke Perther race in 2 years, and he pops in at Cal Classic and hole-shotted probably 2 out of 5 motos. I'm like, what the hell? And then he led for a lap or 2 and finally gave way to Falk and Drake, but he comes up to Mammoth and hole-shots a couple races and finishes 4th, then he gets the podium, then he gets the win. I'm like, holy shit, Luke Perther is ripping. And unfortunately, he's not going to be at Loretta's. He would have been my guy to have. Everybody's going to be scratching their heads when they watch him ride. I don't know how that will. Of course, those are 2 West Coast races. Maybe he doesn't do it in the rut and the hot, the flat, the whole deal that Loretta is. But what I saw, he was lightning in a bottle. He was quick, and those TLD kids had nothing for him. And I think they were both going, "What in the hell is this guy? How's he beating me?"
Oh, but he's not racing Loretta's for whatever reason. We don't know why.
No.
Come on, Luke Perther. Yeah, I remember Luke decent in the mini ranks at Loretta's. It's not like he hasn't raced there at all.
Top 5, 7, 8, something like that.
But it's bizarre how many guys, I mean, nothing sticks out more. Nothing will ever stick out like Ryan Dungey. It makes no sense when I'll be randomly looking through results for other reasons all the time, and you'll see some class from 2002, and there's Ryan Dungey just randomly getting 13th, going 14, 18, 12 in his motos. Ryan Dungey, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that'll catch Roger DeCoster's eye. Makes total sense.
Yeah, so those things are still out there. I think McElrath's that guy right now. McElrath, he's solid, dude. He could win a Supercross title. He wins Supercross races. He won a national this year. No one is saying that McElrath isn't good. He made it. He has made it. And he went from B class being totally unknown, and then had a good year at Loretta's, had another good year at Loretta's, and now he's good. So people like those stories. And, dude, Justin Cooper. Where did that come from?
He won the college boy class
and a
at
two-stroke.
Loretta's, and then two-stroke or whatever, and then he goes up to win. I saw him again at K-Rock, and then he moved to A class. Then he won, I think, 8 straight motos. I was like, God Almighty!
Yeah.
Then he goes to Mini O's, and then he continued it, lit it up, very consistent, and carried that stuff right on over to Loretta's, and then the rest of is all history.
Dude, can you believe how good Justin Cooper is doing now? Like, every week he's a threat. He's still not even 1 year into this as a pro.
Correct. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know. I've given up on trying to figure out when people peak, how they peak.
Yeah.
In fact, me and Ryan Holiday talked about that at Mammoth. It's fascinating to watch.
Mm-hmm.
The ascension of certain kids and when they do it. Like, there's certain kids like Jet Reynolds, Rodney Francesco, Boland, those guys, Deegan even. They're gonna do their deal. But there's other kids waiting that are getting fifths, eighths, sixths, waiting on that. I don't know what is it when perfect, when preparation meets this, when all the situations seem to align. You know what I mean? It just takes everything kind of lining up for them to find their true potential. Well, and it may be at 15, it may be at 17. Phil Nicoletti never had that shit.
No.
He never did anything at Loretta's and now he's had a fantastic, solid career.
I think the next stage for these teams is really studying the background of these guys. And the Justin Cooper thing, now it makes sense once you know his story. The dude never moved south. He did not race during the winter. He's from Long Island, like literally wherever he's listed in the darn results. Like, if you look up that town, if you type that into Google Maps, you're like, he lives like 30 minutes away from like Manhattan. He wasn't riding a lot. So it's like, once he got the chance to start riding year-round, you're like, oh. And Ryan Dungey was in Minnesota. Once he got the chance to start riding year-round, it's like, oh. So I think you're going to see more teams start to study, like, hey, there's a dude
this
getting
kid's really good, and
seventh.
he rides 70% of the time as the other kids.
Yeah, and he's getting 7th and 8th. If we get him on a program.
Right.
Bobby Regan has told me crazy stories about Justin Cooper. And, actually, he said, here's how it went. He went to Mini O's. Bobby Regan pulls in, parks next to some guy who had the grips were I don't even know if you could do this. He said his grips were worn out, so he took the grip off one side of the bike and put it on the other, so he'd wear out other parts of the grip. He just switched his left and right side grips.
I think you can do that. There's a throttle grip and the diameter's different.
That was the story. So then he watches them, and he's like, he got 5th in all these motos. And he had, the junkiest bike ever. And then on a 450 where it doesn't matter as much, he was, winning. And he's like, I never even met the guy. And then, the first time we ever, went testing with him, they said, they use, they put, 4 hours on a chain, and they got to throw it out or whatever the rules are. And he was, so upset.
What are you going to do with that?
Yeah. And they're like, we have certain parameters. We can't run a chain more than this. That's just the way the race team does it. And he's like, no, you can't throw that stuff out. So now
sounds like Barry Carson.
Still now. Yeah, you got to throw that out
there. Coming back to the ranch.
You got to throw that out. Oh, Barry will be there.
Hey, we're going to do it at the airport. Yeah, he's going to be there. Got to deal with freaking Mike Brown. Good luck with that.
Oh, Mike Brown. That's just dropping a bomb on the competition.
Yep.
God.
And then John Gruey. John Gruey's going to light it up.
Getting
I think
faster.
He's still single, too.
Still single?
Yeah, the body bag's coming back. Yeah. Gruey's coming back. The body bag's coming back.
This is good. Yes, John Gruey, master of the age classes down there, and throwing out that he's single and ready to mingle, ladies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he was throwing out his Instagram account and everything at Mini O's on the podium. I was like, man, let him hear it.
Oh, my God.
Your time to shine, man. Get it done.
We were all good until that time we were at the Loretta's beer tent, and this adult book, what do they call them? Romance novel book cover of a man.
Yeah, romance novel, like Fabio.
Yeah. A Fabio of a man named Christian Munoz, the photographer, comes into the beer tent, and we're like, everybody's done. Shut it down.
Yeah.
He will have his pick.
You're doing all my work for me.
Yes.
Ladies, please line up. He's got an incredible jawline, Christian Munoz.
We just kept marveling at this, chiseled human being standing in the corner.
Man, and he came in, he was wearing a toga, which was weird, but I don't know, it worked.
I agree. Yeah, he can pull that off.
Nobody's going to say anything.
No. I mean, they're probably the only problem with the toga is that they just probably want it off. Instant access.
Just really easy to get it off. How do we get there?
That's what this show is all about. That's what our conversations usually do.
Where's Deegan been? I haven't heard much out of Hayden Deegan. I haven't seen him race, but just a handful. I think Mini O's. I think he was at Freestone, and then
I'm looking, trying to figure out classes he would be in. I've been seeing him out. I know he's doing some riding at Club MX. He's definitely riding. I don't think he's hurt or anything. I'm trying to see what class he's.
No, he's ready. He's coming. And it's funny seeing all the kids from the West Coast out on the East Coast. I saw Mumford over there at Club MX2, lining up with Phil Nicoletti and Cooper Webb.
Yep. Where is
that last-minute prep?
Deegan's 38. I'm trying to figure out where is he at?
Maybe 85 9 to 11 then, I bet.
Yeah, I'm looking.
That's my guess.
All right, Deegan will be good to go in the mini race, and his buddy, who he always battles with, and now they even have like 2 tracks like next to each other.
Yeah, Daxton Bennett.
Daxton Bennett, yeah, they're like best friends, and then every single moto they spend battling.
Yep, and then you'll have that'll be the 85 9 to 11. Daxton Bennett, Casey Cochran will be good in that.
Yep.
Christian Yannick.
Yeah, Yannick
Gordon
is
Renfro's good.
Full Team Green guy now. Yeah.
Yep. Enzo Timmerman. That'll be the guys there for sure.
Okay. I want to go back to the A class here. So as we started this saying, maybe it was Marchbanks' year, but he's not there. So what about these KTM guys, Drake and Falk? What have you seen out of them? Pretty good?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be Drake, Falk, looking at the 258 guys. Carter Halpane, haven't seen him since he got beat up somewhere in just before Spring Nationals, so he's really good. I haven't seen much out of him. Seth Hamaker will be in there.
Yeah.
Lance Kovish, kind of fallen off the radar, to be totally honest with you. Haven't seen much out of Lance Kovish. And Ricky Renner.
Yeah, I know.
He's in that one.
Ricky Renner. Is he making another assault on the 25-plus class?
Yeah, and Ricky Renner and Ronnie Renner, both brothers are in that one. Saw that.
Wait.
Yeah, I think that's going to be, they're both in that 25. Ricky and Ronnie Renner, the brothers Renner.
Wait a minute. Ronnie Renner is racing? Stop it.
No, Ricky and the other Rennie. Sorry, the other Renner, not Ronnie. Ricky and the other one. There's 3 Renners.
There's 3 Renners?
Yeah.
I didn't know there were 3 Renners. And then didn't Ronnie name his kids like Racer and Ryder Renner also, I think?
Yeah, they got. Yes, I think you're right.
Oh, there's multiple.
I'll tell you another guy in the 258 class that we haven't seen is going to be, I haven't seen much of him, but Kieran Nairn's pretty solid. Yairi Mitchell from Bermuda will be fun to watch. I don't know if he can go the distance.
Oh, I remember the Jairi Mitchell days.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I remember the Jairi Mitchell days from the PW class. I probably wish I didn't.
Walked inside of the trailer.
Oh.
The radio was going berserk.
Get that bike back here.
Get that bike here. Yeah, I'm looking at 250A, and I think that's going to be all about Derek Drake and Mitchell Falk. And Carter Halpane, Seth Hamaker.
Hamaker.
Those 4 kids.
Right. So Hamaker's in there. All right. So one of these guys could be, well, I know that Falk is already supposed to be on the TLD Pro team next year. I don't know about Drake. I don't know if Drake maybe has another year.
Right. He may sit out or not. I don't know if that's blocked and loaded for them.
And then I'm wondering about Hamaker because he's been really good, but as I said, he's been good for Kawasaki, but, Forkner and Marchbanks were standouts, so I don't know if he's got, maybe they just keep him in A another year, and then eventually goes to Mitch.
I think they need to. Who do they have? They won't have anybody in the A class.
Yeah,
Who would they have?
I don't know. Okay, so that's 250A Open Pro Sport. Kobush is in.
Yeah, I'm going to say Kieran.
Hamaker. Yeah, it's pretty much the same guys. Open Pro Sport and 250A is pretty much the same.
250A.
Yep.
Yeah, all the splitting up comes in the B class. There's Pierce Brown, I think, is doing Schoolboy 2 and 250B, one of the 250Bs. I'm not sure if it's limited. There's 5 places for you to go if you're a B rider. You can go 250B, you can go 250B limited since they don't have a 4th. Yeah, they have 450B. Then you can go 450B, 450B limited, or you can go to that Schoolboy 1 or 2.
Right.
So you got a lot of ducking and dodging, if you will. But if you're one of the guys, you're want to go heads up, and you're going to be in that 250B. Just get out there and get in the mix.
But they really narrowed it down. Yeah, the A class only having 2. I mean, there used to be 4. There used to be basically stock them out of a big bike and stock them out of a 125 or a 250. But now there's 2. There's Open Pro Sport, which honestly most of these dudes are racing on 250Fs, right? Because they're just generally 250F riders, so they just stick with it.
Yeah, that's what most of them did at Mammoth, for sure.
Oh, even at Mammoth. But that's got to be a big disadvantage, I would think, at the altitude.
Yeah. Uphill start, way uphill start. It's all EFI, which helps. There's no more jetting issues.
Oh, I see.
Your horsepower.
Yeah, so Schoolboy 2. There's Pierce Brown in Schoolboy 2.
Yep. Yeah, he's 250B and Schoolboy 2.
So he has another year or two before he necessarily would be racing pro as a Supercross, even though he might be the fastest amateur right now. That unless they put him on the bike at Hangtown next year, maybe they will, but...
No way. Can you imagine going straight from the B class right to Hangtown?
Bro,
what did Alessi do? Isn't that what Alessi did?
Alessi was actually... I know people are going to sit down to hear this. He actually did get to his A class, so he was less rushed than other guys. The thing that Alessi did was crazy. He was riding a 450 the whole darn time.
Yeah, he went straight to 450 at Millville, right?
Yeah, straight to 450 at Millville. I don't even know if he ever raced a 250F as an amateur. He just went straight from Super Mini to a 450. That's the way we do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to make that part up.
But the B to pro, I mean, that's happening more and more. I mean, that's what Marchbanks did. That's what Dungy did. It's happening more and more. Cooper Webb, I think Cooper Webb raced a few A races, like in the spring, like the Texas races, maybe.
Yeah, he did. We talked about that.
Right, but he didn't do Loretta's as an A rider. So I don't know about Pierce Brown. I wonder what the timing. Have you heard anything about that? Like what the timing is? Didn't you say even thinking like maybe we could have him go to Europe for a few months just to grow up and learn?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how serious they are about any of those little thoughts, but I mean, there's been some talk that I've heard he might go to Europe. I think that would be interesting if he went over there and raced Europe and got a little more experience over there, different tracks, learn a little bit about himself.
Or just racing week in and week out, which you're not going to do as an amateur anymore.
Right, get the long motos, get everything you need, but I don't know.
Yep. All right, so what we're essentially saying is Pierce Brown, who's racing Schoolboy 2 and 250B, and I did not just hear this from you, I've heard it from several people, he might be the fastest amateur there is right now, but he's only in B and Schoolboy, so the A classes, you're probably looking at Drake and Falk, who are the KTM riders, Carter Hall-Payne in a Yamaha, and Seth Hammack in our Cowie. Those might be the 4 A-class guys.
Yeah, Kieran Nairn.
Yep.
Where's your league Swole? Hadn't heard anything. What's he doing?
Oh, good call on the Husqvarna. Yeah,
B-class.
Oh, there he is, Schoolboy 2. All right, Swole will be in the mix. He was,
okay.
He got so hosed, his bikes blew up every time last year. He should have won both 125 titles, I believe. So, yeah, he's good. Swole can roll. Yep.
The jokes never end.
No. Okay, so this should be. It's just a little bit different now. But man, you made the best point ever when we were talking on the phone. Now we have like YouTube videos, and every one of these events you announce are probably they almost all have live internet coverage now.
Yeah,
a million ways.
That's a good idea about it.
There's a million ways to know what's going on. But can you imagine the early days of Loretta's? Like, these guys were showing up not having a clue of who they were even racing against or how good they were. Just totally like, drop the gate and I'll find out who's in my class and who's good in the race.
No, you knew who your guys were on the East Coast, and you cruise up to Loretta's with your pack of East Coast dudes, and you're like, oh my. And for me, that was Dana Bradshaw and Sean Dukes. When we went to Devil's Ridge in 88, 87, something like, God darn it, when was it? Must have been earlier than that, but 87, we'll call it 87. It was when Sean Dukes and I'd never even seen those two guys racing. One was from North Carolina, one was from Atlanta, and I couldn't wait to even see that. And to know there were dudes on the West Coast that you never laid eyes on that would be the baddest guy you knew of. That was just fascinating to me. Yeah,
and that chasing each other around thing, like, yeah, whoever it was at the time, like, it was Bradshaw probably at the time. So I knew people who were like, yeah, our whole thing was to try to figure out where was Bradshaw going to race you every weekend, because we had to go and chase it.
Follow him.
Yep. That part's done. Nobody's racing that much anymore. They're not racing every weekend.
No.
But at the same time, everyone has every one of these programs just so much more sophisticated. There's not a lot of guesswork. You still do get those McElrath type guys, but look, even as crazy as McElrath coming out of nowhere was, he was freaking training and riding full time and living at Club MX. So he wasn't in his dad's backyard.
Even that Cinderella story had some, they were on to something.
Dude, you never get anyone on the podium. I remember I was pumped one time when like Dakota Alex won a title, and I'm like, sweet, kid from Vermont. And they're like, nah, man, he's been whatever. I think MTF.
He's been MTF for 7 years.
Yeah. But he hasn't been to Vermont during the winter since he was like 5 years old. I'm like, oh, that's how it works now. Yeah. That's what we're in for. All right, Wes Kane, any idea? Have you communicated with him at all?
Oh, I'll get a video every now and again. When he's getting a street named after him or a day down in Florida. I don't know, man.
Getting a street named after him. But I don't want to. This would kill Wes to hear this. But the craziest part of that was, why was Johnny Ohana there at the ceremony?
Just their intersections just keep happening. Their lives intersect at the weirdest moments. I told you about the day at Minneo's this year when we were done with our 6 days of announcing there.
Oh.
He goes, hey, man, let's get a plate of spaghetti and let's have a seat in the RV.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that
Tell
sounds good. But right before we leave, we're going to sit down. I already got my stuff packed up, and I'm still packing up some of my stuff. But we grab a plate of spaghetti, sit down, just start chatting. Just, RV, Wes's voice really booms. So about 5 minutes into our conversation, my phone starts going, woo, woo. What? I didn't even pay attention to it. Yeah. I finally look at it. I'm getting every way imaginable. Like, people that don't have my phone number were messaging me through Facebook, whatever, and they're like, dude, your mic is on. And then that's when I immediately got that hot feeling over my body. It's like, what have we just done? You're just doing your normal end of the day recap. You're talking a little junk, just, normal BS. And I'm like, oh my God, what have we just done? Like, looked at his mic, flipped the switch off. I'm like, Wes, you had your damn mic on.
That is it. That is the ultimate fear in life.
Yeah, you know how my finger gets so sore, my thumb from Loretta's, from pulling that switch down.
Oh, God.
When we're in the tower, because I can't say but everybody else, when you're talking, you don't want people hearing certain things that you're talking about.
Well, the problem is our announcer's tower up there is kind of like a meeting ground. Like, people come in, they want to say hi, they hang out. So then you end up with people on the back of the room, like bench racing, like gnarly conversations, and you're 5 feet away with the microphone, and you're so scared. If there's a microphone in the back of the room that wasn't turned off, we're all fired.
And let me tell you, PA speakers, PA speakers and FM broadcast, stuff that comes over the FM broadcast in your RV, 2 different ball games. When you're in your RV, it is crystal clear the amount that you hear, over the FM waves versus PA. I'm talking about, you can hear back of the room conversations very, very good if you're in a good environment where you can, hear that kind of stuff. But anyway, and it was quiet. I'd say 70% of Minneo's had already emptied out, and it is nice and quiet. No generators running because it's kind of nighttime. Everybody's getting ready for the awards, and yeah, that was awesome. I got in my truck and left as fast as possible.
You didn't say anything. You just left.
Waiting for my phone to blow up. Oh, hell yeah. I finished just throwing my stuff down. I'm like, I'm out of here. Awful feeling.
So you were just going off on people, basically.
Whatever. No, I wouldn't say that, but just whatever. But thank goodness I recounted the conversation I had with Wes, and he did most of the talking. And he did it in his volume was pretty strong. So I'm like, let's see how this goes.
Oh, it's a good cop, bad cop. And just in comparison, you were great.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, great guy, that Kevin. At least he'd only talked 20% of the trash that we heard live. Oh, gosh. Well, we did have Wes there last year to work the dunk tank that Lucas Oil had to raise some money. So he did a spectacular job, I have to say. Brought his own boombox, his own gold diamond-encrusted microphone. And
if you brought your wallet near him, he's getting money out of it. He's getting that money.
Yeah, he'd eat it. Like,
you're donating it. You're gonna give it to him for this cause.
Rambo coming through a stream with like a knife in his mouth. That was him with like $100 bills.
Yep, breathing through a $100 bill straw. Get that money.
That's right. He's down to the creek, breathing through a $100 bill straw like Rambo. He will have your money.
Give me that money.
Gosh.
Yes.
Well, I hope he's there.
How he pops up.
Me too. That's part of what makes it. Well, you got a cabin all week. I know that much.
We have a cabin. We're going to be doing steaks and spaghetti and just nice candlelight dinners. It's going to be awesome. Never had a chance to do that.
Hey, do we have to cook for ourselves? Is that how that works?
I anticipate having my own food. I'm kind of excited about that, not eating McDonald's and Subway 400 times.
All right. I like this. What do we have in there? Do they have, grills? They have kitchens?
Oh, yeah. You can live in that thing. So it's going to have enough to do eggs, and I'll be wearing your dress shirt when you get up in the morning, cooking your eggs.
That's right.
You just come in, you'll smell, you'll be awakened by the aroma of coffee, eggs, and bacon, and the crackle of the bacon. You'll look over and put your contacts in, and I'll be wearing your jersey.
Yep. Nothing else. Just long enough, just about mid-thigh.
That little curve, just... How do you like your eggs, Jason?
Man, all this, and he cooks, too. Okay, I hope you learned something from this show. Actually, I will nutshell it for you. I will put it in a nutshell. I don't know if I should say the term nutshell. That's maybe not a phrase I want to coin, but essentially, Pierce Brown in the B class is the one that everyone is kind of saying right now might be the fastest amateur of all. We have 4 or 5 riders are going to battle in the A class, so they will conceivably produce the Horizon Award, one of the riders that we mentioned in the A class divisions. Then you're looking at Super Mini, and the 9 to 12 85 divisions is kind of what's coming next. That'll kind of sum it all up for the Lorettas, and we'll see how right we are with some of the riders that we scouted out and talked about. As always, this show brought to you by Yoshimura. It's the Yoshimura Exhaust Podcast. 63 years of research and development. Get their exhaust pipe. Do it. Put it on your street bike. Put it on your ATV. Put it on your dirt bike. Yoshimura-rd.com. Check them out. Made in the USA. Also, RacerXbrand.com. Go to RacerXbrand.com. Type in exhaust in all caps in the discount code line, and you get 20% off. You get t-shirts, hats, bags, all kinds of cool stuff. I'm headed to Washougal. We will see if Marvin Wiscan can extract a little bit of revenge after Eli Tomac was so fast. I think he actually outran. He's actually already at Unadilla. He's actually like outrunning the speed of time. He was so fast. So see you, Loretta. See you, Washougal. Thanks for listening.